Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you and your family are doing great. I hope that life is treating you well, and I hope that all is going good in your favor. And most importantly, I hope that you are in good health and well, you and your loved ones. Once again, my friends, welcome to the Common Sense channel. On this channel, we get to talk about those things that people know, that people have talked about, but don't often have the time to discuss. These, my friends, are the things that we talk about on the Common Sense channel. So, once again, welcome to the Common Sense channel. Today, I want to talk to you about the aid that Donald Trump abruptly stopped. And I want to focus this on the continent of Africa because I think this is long overdue. I think it should have been happening long time ago. And some people see it as bad thing, but on the Common Sense channel, we don't see it as that. We see this as Liberation Day. We see this as Freedom Day, a day for Africa to be free. Some may be thinking, why are you saying this? You're African. But don't we all have different views about things? That's the unique thing I love about diversities in thoughts, in minds, in colors, in views, in everything. Well, diversity is not just based on color, not just based on skin, or it's based on the way we think. And I think thinking different, there's nothing wrong with that. As an African, I see this as a positive move to get these clowns in Africa. Presidente, Your Excellency, your do-nothing president. Just want them to open doors for them, salute them. They walk around with big bellies, corrupt, taking things that don't belong to them, milking the continent, allowing the children to starve while their families and loved ones enjoy the spoils of Africa. Trump is teaching you the lesson, the reality that you fail to see. This video is for the continent of Africa. On my previous video, I directed my message to South America, but they are different, way different than the continent. Maybe similar, but I think they're a little bit different than the continent of Africa. But I think the blockage of the USAID to Africa is an incredible move. I think it would stop all wars. It would get the Africans to start to think. It would get the African to unite. It would get the Africans to see that their president, their leadership, their presidents, their leadership, their system wasn't working, was never working. It would get the Africans to see that their so-called independence was not independence at all. It would get the African to see that everything that these people thought was working in Africa was nothing but an illusion. Education system, healthcare system, infrastructure, technology, social network, everything was nothing but an illusion. It would make the Africans start to think. Because Africans, when they go to vote for these people, they vote on tribal, lines. They vote because the person knows how to speak better English. They vote because the guy who's running for president went overseas, has a lot of connection. They vote for someone because they'll give them a bag of rice. They vote for someone because he knows how to speak their language. They vote for someone because he has a nice car. They vote for someone because he or she um, how they call it, promised them that he would build, bring heaven to earth. You know, they vote for someone they vote for presidents on stupid reasons. Again, I'm not trying to offend anyone, but hey, as a Pan Africanist, you understand? That's what it means to be Pan Africanist. It's not the one that go out and tell you things that you want to hear. It's the one that tell you the truth. That's what I'm doing here. I'm a Pan Africanist. I am. I mean, by now, anyone watching my videos, you know that I am. You know? So, yeah, this is for you, Africans that go around voting for people on silly things, for silly issues, for silly reasons. Now you start to see, instead of you blaming someone for your problems now you start to blame the governments of these countries. The people will start to see you now, us. They will start to see you as the problems and not the solution. So thanks to Donald Trump, he's going to show you Africans, or you Africans will start to see that next time, should there be an opportunity for an election, that you will be, these are the things you will be voting for now. You're going to be voting for yourself. You're going to be voting for your community. You're going to be voting for your family. You're going to be voting for the future children. The ones, not the ones that are alive now, the ones that will come in the future. You're going to be voting for them. You're going to be voting for better hospitals. You're going to be voting for better schools. You're going to be voting for better infrastructure. You're going to be voting for those things that would benefit you. And not because someone can speak British English or American English, or they have nice cars, or they're from your tribe, or they're from your village, or they give you a bag of rice. You're not going to be voting for these things. You're going to be voting for your future. I know the youth, they've seen it, but the older people, they're still doing that crap. So Donald Trump, I don't think I'm ever gonna call Donald. I'm not gonna say his name on my videos. I'm just gonna call him disruptor in chief, because that's what he is. He's a disruptor. He's a disruptor in chief, whether you like it or not. And by him resetting global a relationship, it's gonna help the world. I think it's gonna stop all the wars in Africa, because all that money pumping in to Africa, if that money is not coming in, nobody is gonna. And sometimes it's not only in the form of money; it's in the form of weapons too. Yeah, it's not. These governments in Africa, they know it comes in different ways. So if you're not getting it, what are you gonna do? Okay, now I want to focus on areas where the U.S. aid goes. So, for example, the U.S. aid, the money that Donald Trump froze, right? Say, you're not getting it no more. You got to reset everything. That money goes to economic growth and trade. It goes to that one. It also goes to food insecurity. The aid goes to health systems. The aid also goes to democracy and governance. The aid that America sends to Africa goes to resilience and climate adaptation. These funds also goes to humanitarian assistance. That's a big one, and I'll talk about that a little bit. It goes to education and women's empowerment. So when you see these NGOs all around Africa, yeah, that's where that money goes to. It goes to regional cooperation. And the goal of the USAID is to foster development, promote self reliances, and foster a more peaceful and prosperous continent. A more peaceful and prosperous continent. That's your Africa. Now, I've read those areas where the USAID goes into. Now, let's start to look at some of these areas. Between you and I'm talking to Africans now, all the areas that I mentioned here, if those monies or resource, whatever form it comes to, it comes into the continent. If those aids were actually going into those areas that they said it was intended to go into, do you think, honestly speaking, do you think Africa is going to be where it's at today? So now let me tell you why the aid is not even necessary. We don't need the aid. Africa don't need the aid. Thanks to Donald Trump. I know he's not just doing it in Africa, he's doing it everywhere, but it's a good thing. Now I'm going to tell you why. So, for example, whenever America gives money to a country, if you don't know, most of you don't know because some of you never even see the money. The reason why it's going in there, you never, for instance, let's take, for instance, safe drinking water. Safe drinking water. Whenever America donates a fund and aid to a country, say, let's come out with a number, say $1 million going to safe drinking water, $2 million. Most of that money goes to logistic and expert or expertise, the expert. The expert is where that money goes. So they have them in the form of NGOs. I remember in 2017, I was in Africa. And I went there. There are NGOs all over the place. Everywhere you drive, you see their cars everywhere. And yet, the people were still struggling. They still had concerns about safe drinking water. So you ask yourself, why are those NGOs there? So if they donate $2 million towards safe drinking water, they have to pay for the housing of those NGOs that are in the country. They have to pay for their transportation. They have to pay for their entire well-being. So at the end of the day, out of that $2 million, maybe 200,000 of that money, the government of those countries or governments of those countries might even see. And now when the government of those countries sees that money or receives that money, 99% of the time, it never trickles down to the people. That's how it works. It's always been that way. England does it. They announce to the whole world. You hear, oh, England is giving this much to the country of Sierra Leone or the country of Liberia or Ghana. You hear the figures like huge, like woo. But it never trickles down to the people. So at the end of the day, what is the need of it? Any Africans that are watching my video, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And here on the common sense will be saying that stuff here. You get upset, it's your business. You understand? Like when you're in a relationship, when you're in a relationship and someone tells you, I don't want to be with you if you're female, and the person walk off, they leave, and now you say, okay, fine, you're leaving, that's fine. And now they every now and then they want to check on you to see if you have a new boyfriend or a new guy. You don't be like, just walk away, man. It's none of your business what I do with my life now. So why am I saying this? The reason why I'm saying this now, once Donald Trump has, block all of your aid, you know, the one that corrupt that make you even more corrupt, because most of that money never even goes to those villages anywhere, and never even go to the people that deserve them or the communities that really need them. This is just on water now. We can apply this on everything: healthcare, health system, infrastructure. It's the same thing. That's why the Chinese, and this is true, that's why the Chinese policies, I don't know if they do it in other countries, but I know in Africa, the Chinese do not give no Africans money or aid and say, hey, this is for you. The Chinese don't be doing that. They may donate something to you, but like when it comes to infrastructure, and even with that, they go there too and make sure they supervise it too, because they know Africans are corrupt. So they go there. If it's a hospital, they'll build the hospital themselves. They're not gonna give you the money to build the hospital. But our folks on the West, on the other hand, no, they know that money, both of you are gonna, you know, both of you are gonna, hey, I get my own percentage. And then what was really funny about the whole thing when Donald Trump froze all these aids across the board, the people that were really upset, they were not even Africans though. It was the expert, the ones that, the NGOs, the ones that actually go on the ones that are on the ground, that are doing the work, like humanitarian assistance or regional cooperation, the NGOs in these countries, they're the ones upset. Nah, the Africans though, because the Africans know they're not receiving nothing. So at the end of the day, it's not going to have any impact on Africans. Why? Because I know before the USAID started pouring into Africa, the Africans were feeding themselves. They were self-reliance. Now today they don't want to go to the farm. They don't want to do no farming. They don't want to do no like agricultural work. They just want to sit in the office, put a big tie, and, come here, boy, open doors for them. They don't want to do nothing. So this right here, my friend, it would allow the Africans, I don't care whether they're from North Africa, South Africa, East Africa, Central Africa, West Africa. This is a good thing across the board. So any countries in Africa that are receiving aid from America, when I learned that South Africa was receiving aid from America, I'm like, South Africa? No, it can't be South Africa. With our huge GDP? No, 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 not South Africa, but yes. So this is a form of corruption that Donald Trump just eradicated. So Donald Trump, you see, when you take away aid from a country, it's a good thing because it makes them to start to look at themselves. It makes them to re-strategize. It makes the people of the country too to start to see where there's flaws in the system. That is if they're paying attention. But because the educational system in Africa is garbage, so the kids are not able to think. Maybe this, I'm gonna take that back. The youth now are way different. So maybe this is gonna open a huge corridor. It's gonna have like a vacuum so they start to see. Because until then, they're not going to see. Like Jesus says, He said, I've come to open the eyes of the blind. And said those people that don't have sight, and Hollywood went and made a video of Jesus opening the physically opening the guy's eyes. But that's not what he was talking about. There are a lot of human beings walking this earth. And I tell you, if you look in Africa, you will find a lot of them there. They have eyes, but they can't see. They have ears, but they can't hear. They have brains, but they're not using it right. So Donald Trump, the savior of the world, whether you like it or not, can call him all sort of names. I don't think at this time he even cares what name you call him. But if he was those names that you call him, I think he's the dumbest. Because white supremacy, whatever, I don't do the race thing, but white supremacy, they're not going to let you slide easily like that. They're not going to do that. It's all about control. So if he's allowing you to think for yourself, fend for yourself, restructure yourself, that means he's not. But you are not willing to see the reality that he's showing you. So now here's the thing, Trump. If you are going to froze your ear to these people, basically you're severing ties with them. You're saying, hey, you're on your own, babies. Grown up is leaving now. Take care of your own affairs. Well, it would be like that relationship where you leave a woman and now she has a new boyfriend. And every now and then you want to check and say, hey, why are you with that guy? Once you leave, don't be checking on them again to see what they're doing. Just leave them alone. And I think if you can give Africa 5 years, 5 years, Trump, or maybe 4 years, their entire term, because you just got in, so it's not even 2 months yet. But you're doing so much. You're doing so much, Donald Trump. It's like the speed at which you're going is so incredible. Or not incredible, credible. The speed at which you're moving, Mr. Trump, I think is great. But the only thing is, let's make America great. For me, I like the slogan, right? And I want us to focus on America. America needs to be great. So I'm asking you, Mr. Trump, this is honest from the Common Sense channel. I want you to give Africa your entire term. Don't do nothing for that continent. Take all the aid, keep it. Spend that aid money just on America, fixing the schools, the roads, the infrastructure, kids who don't have food to eat, homeless people, homeless vets, building institutions that will work for the American people. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because when the Africans get up in the morning, the governments, when the government gets up in the morning and see that there is no handout, there is no aid coming from nowhere, then they will start to look at what they have under their feet. If it's agriculture, they will send all these lazy bumps to the farm. That's how it used to be. It used to be self-reliance. But they've gotten lazy. And all that is, the ones that goes to democracy and governance, take that one too. Take all of them. All of them, Mr. Trump. Even the education and women empowerment, take that too. Because it's destroying a lot of homes. Yeah. Take that too. Africans, they've always taken care of the women. Always. Africans, the men, they've always taken care of the women. That's a traditional thing. Yeah, we don't need Europeans to come and teach us how to empower women. No, I don't do that to my wife. No, I don't. She and I, we're a partner. That's the new generation now, Mr. Trump. So I think you're up to something. And I think what you're doing, I never call you names because my eyes are open, Mr. Trump. I see the world. And the way I see the world is, it's not like what they told us, what I learned in school. No, I see it different now. And I'm following everything you're doing with both eyes open, with an open mind. I'm closer. I watch you every day and I see what you're doing. And I know what you're doing. And I hope that this will set the stage for a final independence of the continent of Africa. This video is specifically for Africa, so that's what I'm waiting for, because the person that feeds you controls you. The person that houses you controls you. It's true. If you're living in my house, you go by my rules. You don't have no saying in what I want you to do. It's my house, my food, my electricity, my everything. So you do as I say. So Trump, please don't reinstate that aid. Please give the Africans 4 years. I know that they will not allow the kids to starve. I know they wouldn't allow the hospitals to run out of medications. I know they wouldn't allow the schools to run out of books. Maybe they might teach them right. I know they wouldn't allow the cities to go dark. I know they wouldn't allow the infrastructure to crumble. I know that. I know they will start to think right. But only a grown up, as you are, can open the eyes of these little babies. I call them babies because some of them they've been independent for like 60, 70, 80 years now. Some 100, some 180 years old, independent. And yet, they're still relying on other countries for aid when they have so much. The Creator has blessed the continent with so much than most countries in the world, and yet they're still looking out for handout. So this video that I'm doing is for you, Africa. I know South America has gotten the message, and I know, and maybe as I'm speaking, they're already working on things to enhance, to reset the relationship with the great United States. But with Donald Trump, I think wars, disease, famine, all these things that are plaguing the continent will cease to exist. Just see it the way I see it, on a positive spin. Because some of you just talk about doomsday all the time. Who cares about that? Our parents were talking about doomsday before we even came into this world. Their own parents were talking about doomsday before they came into this world, and yet it hasn't happened yet. So forget about that doomsday. Let's be real. Let's be realistic. Let us focus on the now. On the now, I mean. On the now. What's happening now. And solve problems based on the now. But yeah, Africa, get your act together. Get your act together. That's what Donald Trump is saying to you. Forget about it. It's time in 2025 that you start to rethink how you can make Africa great again. If you are one of those countries that saw your people being deported back, try to figure out a way to use the talent, because a lot of these people are coming back home with immense talent. Tap into that. Create opportunity for them. Don't let them linger and wallow into despair. As that was the reason why they left the continent in the first place. So harness that talent and make it work. Make it work. Don't make them feel that the time they wasted in this country was in vain. Use that talent that they have and make your countries great. Maybe someday in the future it's gonna be Africa, you know. But yeah, I think it's a great thing that Trump did, and I hope he continue to blockade these aids, whatever they are. I listed them to you. Yeah. We don't care about promoting peaceful and prosperous continent. No. Africa is not peaceful, it's not prosperous. No, no. We want to be able to sit down one day in my own lifetime and say, I'm proud of Africa. I'm proud of the direction. I know it's starting to take shape, but I want it to be rapid, rapidement, vite, 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 faster, so that we can look at the continent and say, yes, mon Afrique, c'est très bien. So, this video is for you, Africa. All these things that are happening, they're not happening in vacuum. Donald Trump is not what you think. Not what you think. See, his enemies, he made his enemies call him sir. He made his enemy bow down to him. That's how you defeat your enemies. If you're fighting the warfares, that's what you want to do to your enemies. So he's not what you think. Don't be looking at him the way they want you to see him. He's making Africa free. He's making the continent free from the yoke of colonialism. So when you hear people say, oh, he's a white supremacist, he's a racist, don't buy into that. He's giving you freedom and economic freedom, the right to self-determination, the right to run your own affairs the way you want to run it without no one telling you how to run it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Because when you have aid, it comes with strings. It comes with strings that you may not even want. Well, you don't have choice because the man that feeds you controls you. So he's freeing you. No one is going to come in there now and tell you, oh, your infrastructure, your healthcare system is crumbling, it's not adequate. Let me help you. And open a secret lab to murder you, or to use your country as a staging ground for GMOs, seeds, and things that are not healthy, that are not good for your environment. You're not going to have that, because all of the USAID, that's where all these people put their agendas into that. Everyone that has agenda, that's where they're going to. Now they're not going to be able to do that. People like Bill Gates, he's one of them. He's not going to be able, because he used this program too. All those aids, they come through the USAID. That's where they all come to. So if I'm a billionaire and I have money, how do you think I'm going to enter Africa? I'm going to enter Africa under the auspices of the United States government. So if I have if I want to test my medication, if I'm coming with a new vaccine, how do you think I'm just going to come into Africa like that? I have to come through the USAID. So we're just telling you because you don't know these things. And we're giving you information. On the Common Sense channel, that's what I do. I do my thing. I come here every now and then. I do my videos. Do I care about what someone thinks? I don't. Because I'm not telling you to click on my stuff. I'm not begging you. I'm not begging you to watch my videos. My videos are not meant for now. They're meant for the future. Because everybody are unique in their own ways. You have to educate people. That's what we are put on this planet for. Either do it the good way or you do it the evil way or the bad ways. You know? One thing you need to know, that nothing, absolutely nothing, Africans, you need to know this, absolutely nothing is free. Nothing in this world, even a penny, is not free. Whatever you have, someone is paying for it. Whatever you get, someone is paying for it. And whoever is paying for it, you don't even know their agenda. You don't even know their intention. You're busy just eating. You don't even know where it's coming from. So nothing is free. So whatever you have, you governments of Africa that believe that getting aid from other countries is the way you can run your government, and you have all the natural resources sitting around at your feet, you can't even utilize it in 2025. You needs to go. You needs to go. Your system is rotten and it needs to be replaced. Now the youth of those countries are going to start to see that you are nothing but big belly, running around, gluttoning, fat. And then everyone, you just want someone to say, salute, sir. Yes, sir. Presidente. Your Excellency. Open door for you. Run around in big cars with bunch of security as if you're God. Now, everybody's going to know that you're nothing but a beggar, a handler. That's what you're. You're pen handler. That's what you are. In this country, they call it pen handler. If someone don't put money in your pen, you're not going to eat. And Donald Trump is disrupting the system. And you, my friend, are part of that system. It's a good thing. If you have comment you want to post on my video, go ahead. And as I've always said on my video, the greatest thing that happened to any man or can happen to any man or woman, it's not the day you're born, not the day you came into this, the got your first car, the day you graduated from high school, college, the day you got your first degree, or the day you became a doctor, a lawyer, whatever is it you're working towards in your life. The greatest thing that can happen to anyone, any man or woman, is the day you discover yourself. Because from that day on, my friends, everything, absolutely everything, will start to make sense to you. That's why I do these videos. Once again, I want to thank all those people that watch my videos. I want to thank those people that have subscribed and continuing to stay on my channel. I love you. And you know the truth, you should never apologize for the truth. The truth is what convicts a person. The truth is your hell. If you're wondering where hell is, it's the truth. That's the one that keeps you up at night. When someone tells you, it torments you and makes you change. That's why the truth is life. I hope you and your family have a wonderful and pleasant day, and I hope that you're great. Thank you. Thank you.